Here we are. You might be able to see, we're going to cut down and show the chaps who have joined us on the screen in a moment. But this is Nikki Swannell and Shauna Rhodes, who are volunteers. Good morning to you both, by the way. So, these guys are volunteers for No to Dog Meat, which aims to rescue pups from being sold at the meat markets. Nikki is running a marathon, although we've interrupted your marathon training today, haven't we? I do apologise.
Yes.
You're not too upset about that?
I'm dealing with that.
Doing that alongside her daughter to help raise awareness about the true horrors of the trade. So thank you both for joining us, and thank you for bringing along these chaps. Look at these. Look, so who have we got here?
Rupert.
This is Rupert. This one's Felicity.
Yeah. We met Felicity earlier, didn't we?
Yeah, Felicity's been on. This one's Josette. And that one's Angel.
They're being very well behaved. So
yes.
They've been here for a couple of minutes.
Are they all around the same age?
Yeah, so Rupert's 3, Felicity's probably around 7 or 8, Josette's 3, and Angel's coming up to 7.
Yeah. Right. So just tell us a little bit about the meat trade and what you've done for these dogs and others.
Right, OK, so the dogs are rescued from the meat market. Yeah. Rupert was taken by his owner, who didn't want him anymore. He took him to the meat market to be sold for meat. Felicity were rescued from a slaughterhouse. She was strung up by a tail and they was going to eat her. Yeah. And Josette was from a horrific meat market where when we got there was dogs already weren't as fortunate as Josette.
Yeah, yeah.
And so how widespread is this problem then, because it's not something we would obviously know about? I have heard it mentioned a few times in the media in recent years, but it's not massive talk about it.
Yeah, it's quite bad, very bad. We go to Yulin, where they have a big festival every year, but it happens. They've got dog meat restaurants in China. It's happening all year round, but once a year they have at the summer solstice they have a massive market where dogs are slaughtered. But No to Dog Meat, Julia and the team, they go in and they are on the ground in Yulin saving dogs.
Just, what about the level of support you guys are receiving? Is it growing as more people get aware? This is still a problem.
Yeah, so that's one of the issues that we are faced with, because it's so horrific. People don't want to hear about it. We struggle to get our message out because people, the news outlets and things like that, it's distressing, it's upsetting. Yeah. Nobody wants to hear something happening like that to dogs and cats. Yeah. So we do struggle to get the message out, but slowly, the more people that are getting involved and sharing our posts, and for us running the marathons, we're hoping to raise as much awareness as we possibly can, along with money, because the two go hand in hand.
Of course, yeah. Just tell us a little bit about who we've got here. So their personalities, what are they like?
So Felicity's
That's what we want to
know. Felicity's in charge. Yeah. She tells everyone where to stand. Rupert, when she barks, Rupert listens. Rupert's a cheeky chappy. Josette's a new girl. So she came over in July last year. Right, she was brought over. So she's just finding her feet. And, well, Angel's just having a sleep.
Angel's gone to sleep. Angel's had enough.
Nikki, you mentioned finding their feet. I mean, what about that period of adaptation? Because they've come from extreme sort of traumatic backgrounds and they become domestic animals. I mean, how does that transition happen?
You'd probably be surprised. We picked Rupert up believe it or not, Rupert came to live with us in June this year.
Right.
And we went to Paris and got him. Hence why I'm running the Paris. One of the marathons is the Paris Marathon, because that's where the dogs land. It took him a couple of days, wasn't you, say, to...
Yeah, I think
Is that it? I thought it would take longer than that, actually.
He never messed in the house. No, he never messed in the house. It was so good.
Yeah.
And Josette's only been here since end of July.
She's gone Canberra shy.
And she's gone Canberra shy, yeah.
I just want some that.
Yeah. But we've got one, so care. Yeah. See, we struggle in why we're running the marathons is we're trying to raise money for fire pits. So we have these pellet fires. Yep. And we set ourselves a target. We called it the Winter Fundraiser. Yeah. And we set ourselves a target to raise so much money because all our shelter got destroyed in the floods last year. Right. And we had to basically open the cages so that the dogs would survive in that.
Struggles with quite extreme weather year on year. So it's a case of kind of having to rebuild as much as possible
Yeah.
year on year and kind of just adapt to it as best as possible.
Yeah.
Do any of the dogs have, because obviously, as you said, such a horrific trade.
Yes.
Do any of the dogs have injuries or any sort of
Trauma.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, funny you should say that. When we rescued Felicity, she was actually hung up by a tail.
No.
Yeah.
And to release her, they chopped her down by a tail. So Felicity only has a stump of a tail, whereas you can see Josette and Angel and Rupert have long tails. Felicity doesn't. And some of the injuries are horrific.
Yeah.
They're so trusting of people in spite of
what
being through.
And very well behaved. Rupert just needs to sneeze a little bit, but he's doing well.
Shauna, talk to us about the process of getting them from China to here, because that sounds quite painstaking.
So all of the dogs fly through to Paris, and then we are part of the team that kind of bring them over to the UK and get them in homes. It's not always in the UK as well. There's adopters kind of throughout Europe. But the main route is through Paris and then driving them over. So we've been able to go to the airport, and obviously it was amazing to see Rupert arrive in Paris from China and be there to kind of like open the crate and stuff. So it was really nice to see that journey from kind of start to finish, and then to see them go to such loving homes as well. It's really rewarding, and we've had like little catch-ups with some of the dogs that we've that are settled in the UK now, and to just see how kind of well adjusted they are to their new homes.
So you can follow their journey and to make sure they're doing okay.
It's really important that we do follow the journey as well, because obviously we want to hear their success stories, and obviously everything that happened with COVID as well. It was quite difficult to get dogs out of China, and it only started, was it 2023 was our first flight?
We were able to get some more out.
So the adoption process is kind of, we're trying to encourage it a little bit more and make some progress with that now, because it slowed down so much during that time.
Absolutely. We'll make up for the lost time.
We were quite surprised, weren't we, when we asked you what they eat? The diet isn't anywhere near as hefty as we thought, given their size.
With Rupert's just up and
I mentioned food.
to show how big it is.
It's like, did somebody say snacks?
But not too much then?
No. Their diets are not anything that you'd expect. I mean, people probably do overfeed them.
I thought they'd eat you out of house and home.
And there's a thing of feeding for love, isn't there? But Rupert's on small amounts of food. We feed him twice a day.
Here we go.
He's having a wander around.
Go and explore it. So twice a day, moderate amount.
Yeah, just a small amount.
Yeah.
He'd eat more if you gave him
well, he's on the hunt now.
Guys,
thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much.
I absolutely love dogs.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
So really, do appreciate it.
They're leaving a trail, aren't they?
Yeah.